Hello, Tennessee Voices viewers and listeners. This is David Plazas, the Opinion and Engagement Director for the USA Today Network Tennessee and the Tennessean. I've invited all the candidates in the Davidson County primary on May 3rd to do a short video interview with me today, and I'm glad that Judge Kelvin Jones, who's running for re-election, has agreed to be the first one. He is running for Circuit Court Judge in the Division 8. Judge Jones, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, David. Thank you so much for extending the invitation for me to participate in this interview.
Absolutely. Why are you running for re-election?
Well, I'm running for re-election to continue the work that we committed to do 8 years ago. As you know, 8 years ago, or you may not know, but for the viewers, 8 years ago, we ran for this seat because we wanted to make sure that everyone who appeared before the Eighth Circuit and all of the courts were treated with dignity and respect. And that was the message that we shared throughout the county. And fortunately, we were elected. People embraced the message, believed in our candidacy, and supported the vision that we have. And so we've done great work over the past 8 years, and we're looking forward to continuing that work, the very important work that needs to be done here in the Eighth Circuit Court.
And tell us a little bit about your own background as a lawyer. What brought you to become judge today?
You know, it's interesting. It depends on who asks the question. If I'm speaking to a group of kindergartners, I will tell them that back when I was 5 in kindergarten, a portion of the kindergarten program, and I have got the photograph and the actual program, but a part of that program was for the students to talk about what they wanted to be when they grew up. And so if I'm talking to young people, I'll say, you know, back in 1973, and I'll show them the photograph that I keep on my phone. It's a photograph of me with a judge's robe on, and a gavel. And in the program from that kindergarten graduation, it says Kelvin Jones, judge. And so I share that with young people for the purpose of letting them know that it's never too early to plant the seed. In my case, there was, you know, my parents and grandparents and friends and family who always supported me to be where I am today. And so here we are, you know, here some 40 years later, I have the honor of serving as a judge, but it was because people believed in me from an early age. They planted that seed and they cultivated that seed over the years. So that's sort of the young person pitch for, you know, why judge. But, you know, my career, I began practicing law after law school in Denver, doing corporate securities work, mergers and acquisitions. I relocated here to Nashville to work with Bass, Berry and Sims to continue the work that they had begun in the healthcare industry, in the healthcare field, primarily in the area of mergers and acquisitions. And so I came here back in 1997, was with Bass, practicing in their M&A department for about 2 years before I met Bill Purcell, who was running for mayor. And he came to the firm. We hit it off pretty well, and I started assisting him with his campaign. And so that's what sort of moved me more into sort of the political arena here in Nashville. I became his legal advisor back in 1999 and went on to serve in various roles inside of Metro government, but then also when I left Metro government to start my own practice, I continued a lot of work that I had been doing over the years, particularly as it relates to serving the underserved community, the marginalized and disenfranchised. I spent 6 years as executive director of the Metro Human Relations Commission, fighting every day for people who had been discriminated against based on their race, their religion, cultural differences. And that was important work to me. And so when I started my own practice, that was a part of the work that I did. And as I tell people, you know, now that I'm a judge, I can no longer advocate or fight for people. But what I can do is I can fight to make sure that the law is in place and that it protects those who need the protection. I
Thank you
can't
so much
hear
for
you.
that. And you are from Birmingham, Alabama, as I recall.
That's correct.
And, talk a little bit about your background in education for the audience.
Well, as you stated, I was born in Birmingham, but I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama. I attended college at Howard University in Washington, D.C. I continued with my graduate work in philosophy at Howard University. I left my graduate work to begin law school at the University of Alabama, where I finished up in 1993. And then just 2 years ago, I received a master's degree, an LLM of laws and judicial studies from Duke. I'm fortunate to have had that experience. There were 20 judges selected from around the country, most of whom were federal district court judges or state appellate court judges. We spent 2 years together studying the law. And in the state of Tennessee, I'm the only judge who has an advanced degree in judging. I don't say that to suggest that other judges are not qualified or competent or that they don't do good work. But one of the commitments that I made to the voters 8 years ago was that we were going to be prepared for court. I don't want anyone to ever feel as though they're going to come to this court. We're not going to be prepared. We're going to be knowledgeable of the law, and we're going to use the knowledge that we've gained, that I've gained, to benefit the folks who come before us. And that's probably why we've had the success that we have had. Only 5 cases in the 7.5 years that I've been here have we been reversed. And that's phenomenal. I would put our record up against any court in this state. And it doesn't happen by accident. It happens because my staff and I work very hard to make sure that we get the law right at every instance. And so we're pleased with our success. So if you match that commitment to excellence with the work ethic that we have, you receive the results that we've received.
One of the things that I know that judges I've talked to in the past talk about judgment and decision making. How do you handle adversity both off and on the bench, and how have you grown as a person?
Well, I mean, I think, I think everyone, I know that everyone has to deal with adversity in their personal lives and in their professional lives. And I think we've done an excellent job of not allowing distractions from outside of the courtroom to impact the work that we do. We look at every case without any preconceived notions about the outcome that should be reached. And we're methodical in that. Of course, we prepare for cases before we hear them. But if you spend enough time in this area in doing the law, what you'll find is that there's always something about each and every case that surprises you, something that you didn't know, which is a constant reminder about why you can't reach any preconceived notions or ideas about who may prevail in any particular case. It's very important that we treat everyone with dignity and respect. It's interesting. I had a guy one time who had come in on a case where he had made a lot of disparaging racial remarks against the person on the other side. And he didn't think he had a chance. But what I told him was this: I'm not going to judge your personal behavior. I'm going to make a decision based upon the facts that are applicable here in this case. And he prevailed. And so I think that's a testament to our commitment to fairness and impartiality. And I think that's the only thing that people can ask for when they go before any court. Unfortunately, for many years, people thought that, and rightfully so, that they wouldn't get a fair shot or fair shake in court based upon their outward appearance, their race, their religion, or their cultural differences. But I believe that when they come here, and based upon our track record, they know that they're going to be treated fairly. And so that's what we endeavor to do each and every day.
Ms. Kelvin Jones, I want to thank you so much for your time, for taking these few minutes to talk about your campaign and your background. Any final words before we conclude?
Well, thank you so much, David, for the work that you do. I've followed you there since you've been at the Tennessean. You provide a refreshing voice there at that institution. So I appreciate all that you do. I want to encourage everyone to get out and vote. These positions are very important. And there are these local government positions are the folks that you're going to have to engage on a regular basis. And so make the best choice for yourself. Seek out those candidates who have demonstrated a commitment to academic excellence, to community service, and knowledge of the law. And I think that if people do that, they'll be well served in voting this upcoming Tuesday and early voting that's occurring right now. So thank you so much, David.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Take care.